welcome to ActiveNet's Sound Bites, I think I'm going to call this new series. Today we're talking to David from Edinburgh Leisure about ActiveNet. And ActiveNet is an event that happens face-to-face, happens online, and we're going to go to Scotland in September, on September the 8th, supported brilliantly, I have to say, by the Scottish Leisure Networking Group. So, David, before we start, just tell us who you are and what you do, please.
Thanks very much, David. I'm David McLean. I am Head of Operations Development for Edinburgh Leisure. I've been working with Edinburgh Leisure now for around 13 years. Up until last year, I was working with the fitness team and managing and leading that. And that's where I had the privilege and honour of attending ActiveNet events.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, you came down, I think it was in 2017, you'd have come to Eastwood Hall in Nottinghamshire.
That's correct, yes. So not too far to travel, nice quick flight down. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's always the advantage of that location. It's the distance from the airport. It really does make a difference.
Very much so.
Brilliant. Well, the event we're going to be doing in Scotland in September, as I said, is online. And the advantage of online, of course, is that you can select different employees to go to different supplier meets, which is really important. But before we get into the detail, why did you attend in 2017? What was it about ActiveNet that attracted you?
It was actually on referral from both suppliers and buyers from the event. From being there previously, and what they were telling me was around, there's the network meeting event side of things, and then also the fact that you've got the seminars and the group discussions that took place as well. So for me, it was that mix of having the 20-minute meetings, and to have so many meetings over a day and a half is fantastic. Whereas having that back up in Edinburgh, that would take probably 6 weeks to get around that many conversations. But not just from suppliers, also from operators as well. So the biggest thing for me was the range of operators that were down. So looking at higher education, universities, colleges. So you got to kind of hear what was coming up, what they were working on, and what the workforce could be coming out, but also how they were diversifying. And at that time, looking at what they were building with regards to health and fitness products. We've got so many around us here in Edinburgh as well that are doing similar.
That's really interesting, and there's 2 points there that to draw out a little bit further. The CPD, the formal stuff, as you said, is really powerful from our point of view. We've got Sport Scotland, we've got Public Health Scotland, obviously Scottish Leisure Networking Group, UK Active, SIMSPA, and Community Leisure UK all speaking. And David, you're going to join us as well, aren't you? You're going to be one of our breakout panelists.
Yes, looking forward to that. And again, what a panel to be on, with the audiences you've said you've got there just now. So, and what's fantastic is it's everybody together. Through the pandemic, we've all talked about collaboration and working collectively, to have everybody at one event where you can hear, speak, ask questions, it's going to be good. Again, then from the breakout from that, speaking to other operators and suppliers, take on what everybody's saying and how we can, as an industry, come together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Public Health Scotland bit is the bit that I'm most fascinated by, because I do feel that you've got a better relationship in Scotland with public health than we have at the moment in England. So really interesting to see if I can learn something from that and take that back to what we're doing. And of course, you get 2 SIMSPA CPD points as well, which is really in these timeframes to maintain your membership and your up-to-date knowledge. So you came in 2017. What was the sort of result? What happened as a result of your conversations with some of our suppliers and other operators?
Yeah, some of it's immediate. You can take away things there and then where, not quite like taking a bit of paper with a purchase order down with you from events years beyond that used to always happen at the end of September. But it was very much more, you were coming back up and arranging follow-up meetings almost within the next 2 to 3 weeks with some suppliers. Others, it took a bit longer, so it was something that you knew that either they were bringing something out and wanting to watch for the future. So they were giving you snippets of what was coming. So you then helped maintain that relationship with those suppliers. And, there's even been some projects since we've come back where a supplier that I met down at ActiveNet, we've just actually implemented some product.
Right. Okay, that's excellent. And we talk a lot to our suppliers, obviously, but that whole qualifying piece on both sides is really important. Is this a supplier you feel a connection with, but more important, does the supplier feel that actually you're taking it seriously? So I think that qualifying piece is really interesting.
So, I think, sorry to interrupt as well, David, but for me also the other side of it is it's the 20-minute meeting. Had I met that person up in Edinburgh, that would have easily been a 2-hour meeting, per person. So it kind of breaks down, and you just get to what the operator needs, but also what the supplier's working on or has to offer at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we try really hard when we do the scheduling. We ask you as buyers and operators, who do you want to see? We ask the suppliers, who do they want to see? And we've got an algorithm actually that works it out for us and tries to prioritize, so that we make sure as much as we can that when you sit down, it's a mutual conversation. It's not being sold to, it's about you knowing you want something and them having something that could help. And we work really hard on that. It's a really important part of what we do. So if I was to ask you to give a recommendation, why would you recommend ActiveNet to other organisations in Scotland, whether they be universities, higher education, or leisure trusts, or local authority operators?
I think first and foremost, it's the coming together of the different parts of the industry. But mostly it is the time efficiency and the quality conversation. So even if you don't get something on that day, there'll be a relationship or someone that you maybe never knew previously, or company that can supply you something that you will then build on further down the line. But if you don't get anything there, which I've yet to meet anyone who hasn't, right, it is much more around, you'll get the nuggets from the panel, and you see for what you've got from the CPD side of things, which again is so important. So there's a bit of education, but there's also helping the business grow as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, I'm so disappointed we're not coming as a live event, because I was really looking forward to the Crieff Hydro. It's such a wonderful building. It's beautiful. But we are going to come up in September 2022 and run a face-to-face event. So I'm really looking forward to bringing my mountain bike up and doing some riding while I'm up there, because it is just beautiful, Crieff Hydro. Have you ever been to Crieff Hydro?
I have, yes. Years ago when the kids were younger. But again, fantastic location, and it's not too far from main city airports, etc. So it's not too far a drive for anyone. That was another big appeal for ActiveNet Scotland for me. It was location, but with it being online, as you say, there's now a number of other people within the organisation who can also attend, and it's not a day of travelling and a date. So it's fantastic to have this so local, and this year online.
Yeah, and of course, really based on Scotland, from a panel point of view, it is very much about what's happening in Scotland at the moment, and how you can react and respond to that. So, David, I'm going to say thank you so much for your time today, and obviously thank you for attending, and I'm really looking forward to meeting the team that you're going to send along to the event. So thank you for that. You take care, and we'll catch up virtually again in September. Thanks for your time. Take care.
Thank you, David. Thank you.